not slightly perfect and far better than the recent MCU movies as far as I'm concerned, but I still think it's not an awful movie by any means, unlike this monstrosity that we will never speak of again. Yo, what is up, my Cinedroids? G to the S here. Today, I'm gonna be reviewing Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. You guys know the story of Spider-Man by now, but just in case if you don't, let me lay it down for you. Bitten by a radioactive spider in the subway, Brooklyn teenager Miles Morales, played by Shameik Moore is how I pronounce it? No matter. Anyways, he suddenly develops mysterious powers that transform him into the one and only Spider-Man. When he meets Peter Parker, played this time by Jake Johnson, he soon realizes that there are many others who share his special, high-flying talents. Miles must now use his newfound skills to battle the evil Kingpin, played by Liev Schreiber. His name sounds familiar. Anyhow, he's a hulking madman who can open portals to many other universes and pulls different versions of Spider-Man into our world. Interesting story concept, but does it prove its worth? Let's find out. First off, let me touch upon the movie's use of animation and visuals. It is spot on fantastic! It kinda does look like a mix between 3D and 2D animation combined. Best I can think of, best I can describe it. Seriously, the animation looked awesome! But still, just like I saw How to Train Your Dragon The Hidden World like a month ago, it's a shame I didn't see this one in 3D either. You can check out my review of it if you want. But you know what? Who cares? It still looks incredible to look at. There's also a mix between anime, noir, and comedic Looney Tunes style cartoon animation. Particularly with Noir Spider-Man, played by Nicolas Cage, Penny Parker, played by Kimiko Glenn, and Spider-Ham, I love that name, but he's played by John Mulaney. I'll discuss their development and characteristics later on in this review, but in terms of how they look in this movie, they look just as amazing as the animation itself. Keep up the great work with the animation, guys. Even the cinematography looks impressive to watch. I know it sounds derpy and nerdy for me to say, but it kind of does look like I'm watching an actual comic book come to life on screen. Like the word boxes whenever a character's thinking to himself or herself, depending on the gender displayed in said movie. But they look cool. Also, when the fight combos in this movie did that zip, bam, boom, and pow, giving that 1960s Batman vibe to it, in terms of action sequences, it not only looks phenomenal to watch, but it was insanely well executed. Also, the voice acting direction from 3 people, Peter Ramsey, Robert Pizzicchetti Jr., and Rodney Rothman. They did a great job coaching these fine young actors, as well as old, no offense, to play their roles. Haley Steinfeld, who was also in Bumblebee, in case you haven't noticed, check out that review if you want. But she plays Gwen Stacy in this movie, and man, she was awesome! Another job well done, Miss Steinfeld. No wonder you got yourself a career. Even Jake Johnson as Peter Parker, he was great as well. Well, in terms of character development articulation, he started out as a generic naysayer towards Miles during the very beginning of the movie, but then as time went on, he became a great mentor for Miles, which was something that the Emoji Movie completely got wrong. The whole friendship dynamic between Jean, the meh emoji, and High Five in that movie was incredibly boring and dull. It's scary that I know those characters as well as its movie. Check out that review if you want. But anyways, they do not have a clear understanding of why they partnered together in the first place. So I'm glad that they rectified their mistakes and made the partnership work this time around. Keep up the great work. Also, getting back into the 3 different versions of Spider-Man, anime, noir, and cartoon animation, they're not the typical generic cookie-cutter characters that are just there to do stuff. Well, they do stuff in this film, but it's not wasted potential played on screen. They have a purpose and a meaning to be in the movie, which I won't dive deep into. You're just gonna have to watch the movie to find out what I'm talking about. As for the story and plotline, this is a different take on the Spider-Man story, and that is never a bad thing at all. I love that they did something completely different rather than just rehash the same iteration of the story and the character over and over and over again. Smart move, Sony. that could have been repetitive real quick. So props to you guys for the creativity into developing the story of Spider-Man. I appreciated that. The one tiny thing I'm not usually a big fan of is its use of comedy and meta humor involving every single character's backstory of how they became many different versions of Spider-Man. But still, they're not terrible jokes. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. Ugh. Let's not speak of that ever again. Overall, guys, in the end, I don't think this is one of the strongest films I've ever seen, but it's still not considered to be a film I find terrible and dull at all. You guys out there think that? Then you are over-exaggerating, my good sir, or ma'am. I just thought it's a flawed film, but it's still considered to be a great film. It had awesome animation, entertaining characters, intriguing and captivating story, and a massive improvement over that abysmal Emoji Movie that was released a year and a half ago. So as a result, I rate Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 4.5 stars out of 5. Still a fantastic movie, don't get me wrong, but it still has some basic filmmaking flaws that I see in every movie nowadays. So that's not a big deal. Check it out while you still have the chance. So Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Have you seen it? If you haven't, I highly recommend it. It was such a huge surprise for me. You won't be disappointed. But for those of you who have, come back and let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Also, if you like this video and you want to see some more, make sure that like button shines in your face. That'll totally help me out a ton. Also, share that video with your family and friends and favorite it. That's a very good way to show support for this review. Also, if you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell right next to you so you can be notified of future videos that I have in store for you. Also, if you want a shout out on a future video, just follow me on both Instagram and Twitter and I will choose one of my Cinedroids to be displayed as a shout out. The link's in the description below. And also follow me on Stardust so you can catch early reactions of movies, TV shows, and trailers. I'll put the link of it below in the description so you can download the app for yourself. But until then, I'll see you next time. Peace out.